Oh, man. Oh, God, there they are.
Oh my god, is that Deltovic? Let's make him lick dog shit.
Off the pause!
G'day guys, Nate here coming at you with the round 10 preview of Collingwood's clash against Sydney Friday night at the SCG 7:30 p.m. start. There's the VFL as well, Friday afternoon 2 p.m. start, so technically a double header, curtain raiser at Tramway Oval, literally next door to the SCG. And then we've got the AFL Friday night at the SCG. Something extraordinary is going to happen. It's a bet each way. It's no in between here. This is either going to be a classic Collingwood upset win on the road, or Sydney is going to absolutely demolish us. We haven't lost by over 100 points since 2005 at the Adelaide Oval, Amy Stadium, at the time against Adelaide, who were the minor premiers in 05. We also lost by 112 points to Freo, Subiaco, halfway through 2005, for that matter. So something to think about, something to be prepared for in case it gets to 100 plus points. If it even gets close to that, we have lost to Sydney by 80 odd points, round 1 2016. So there is a first time for everything, and this has the potential to be an absolute disaster, or it can go Collingwood's way in an upset win. I am a firm believer of the loss you need to have. Sydney, they've looked shaky in the last two games. They beat Melbourne by 3 goals. It was a high scoring contest, and they just got by North Melbourne by 8 points. North Melbourne being inaccurate in that final quarter against Sydney, and they also lost to Hawthorn in round 3 or 4 by 17 points. It's weird to see as well. When Sydney score above 100, they win, and if they keep their opposition below 70, they also win. That's typically been the case besides those last two wins and also that loss to Hawthorn. They score above 100, and they keep their opposition below 70, and this has all the makings of Sydney scoring above 100 and us failing to score above 70 yet again. Just like against Geelong, Geelong, their handball chains, their quick transition got us in the second half. Basically, a mirror image of what Sydney's able to produce so far in 2026 at the SCG, a narrow ground. They love to use the corridor. So, are we prepared this time around to combat Sydney's attacking game? Or do we have the potential to play some sort of magical footy attacking game similar to Hawthorn, but even better to somehow beat Sydney? But Sydney's on top of the AFL ladder for a reason. 8 wins, 1 loss. Tom McCartan, Charlie Curnow, Jai Sarong all attest to return. So they're going from strength to strength. And here we are, having just been smacked by Geelong by 9 goals and at least 4 changes. Pendlebury out being managed, Darcy Moore concussion protocols, Patrick Lipinski concussion protocols, and Darcy Cameron ruled out with the ankle injury. So Oscar Steen up against Brodie Grundy. Good luck to your son. But the injury list as of Wednesday afternoon, Darcy Cameron officially ruled out following Wednesday morning training. Lockie Sullivan still listed as concussion protocols. He'll likely play VFL, whether it's here, Friday, or next week. Lipinski, Darcy Moore, both out with concussion protocols as well. Tim Membry and Perryman and Cochrane all progressing with their injuries. And who we bring in, it's a mystery. Youngsters to bring in. Ed Allen in the midfield. Noah Howes possibly debuting. I made an Instagram post regarding Noah Howes. He's 3 games as a key defender so far, not looking at a place. Hasn't knocked the door down of selection just yet, but with Darcy Moore out, we're thin for key defenders. Maybe Noah Howes comes in. We are very thin regarding who to bring in and who goes out. I don't expect us to drop anyone off performance. I think it's just a matter of bringing in 4 players to replace Pendlebury, Moore, Lipinski, Darcy Cameron. 4 players with 100 plus games of experience. Darcy Cameron over 100 games, Lipinski 150, Darcy Moore approaching 200, and Scott Pendlebury 432 games and counting as well. So good luck trying to replace all that experience. Combating Sydney with Charlie Curnow, Jai Sarong, and Tom McCartan all attest, all expected to return as well. So, oh man. And it gets even worse when you compare the pair. Sydney, I'm not going to go through each stat, but to summarise it all, Sydney, first in the competition for points for contested possessions, inside 50 entries, marks inside 50, intercepts, and also turnovers. That means they turn it over the most, but that's the risk and reward game they're playing right now. And number 1 in the competition for goal efficiency. So we have our work cut out for us. They're top 2, second for points against, disposals, tackles inside 50, and rebound 50s. They are so damaging off defensive 50 as well. It's not funny. Top 4 as well for shots at goal, accuracy. The only stats they're not top 8 in are marks and disposal efficiency based off their turnover game. So Maybe that's a weakness right there to expose. We control the footy and try being efficient. How we go about entering inside 50 is a whole different kettle of fish for us to figure out. It's worked against Hawthorn, it failed against Geelong, and we need it to be not only efficient against Sydney like we did against Hawthorn, it needs to be even better, to be a slimmer of hope against Sydney. But for us, we're a good defensive side, minus that second half against Geelong, able to control the footy at times, and we've got forward 50 pressure to spook Sydney. Again, just going back earlier when I said that I am a believer of the loss you need to have. For us last year, that was against Geelong and lesser extent against Gold Coast. For Sydney, I just think they are due for a loss. They've got Geelong next week at Cardinia Park, so that's an expected loss at Cardinia Park. But maybe we can spook Sydney. Maybe we can get on top of Sydney. Maybe we get Sydney on an off day, but it's all wishful thinking based off the compare the pair, the stats, the form guide as well, the history in Sydney as well for us. It's a one-way ticket to an arse whooping. We got smacked against Brisbane, so we are semi-prepared for this sort of thing. But how far and how big this margin could be is anyone's guess. It's going to go one or two ways. It's either going to be a Sydney demolition job, or we're going to cause a massive upset, and we're back in business, and we still don't know what we're going to stand for in 2026. And the weird thing is, with that draw against Hawthorn, we're not in a percentage battle against anyone, so we could be smacked to smithereens here, and it wouldn't matter unless there's a draw occurring later in the season. But to cause an upset win, it'd be such a Collingwood thing on the road at the SCG. Just, yeah, it's all wishful thinking. I'm holding on to hope. I said Hawthorn was gettable 2 weeks ago. I can't say that against Sydney based off our current form and Sydney's current form, but you just never know when it comes to Collingwood. Based on the recent history as well, Collingwood leads the overall head-to-head, 145 wins, 89 losses, and a draw. I'll mention a draw in case it becomes a draw, just jinxing it to a win or loss either way. Sydney leads the overall head-to-head, though, at the SCG, 18 wins, 8 losses. So regarding interstate travel, any venues we are worried about, it likely is the SCG. Adelaide Oval is our home away from home. Uh, Optus Stadium, Perth hasn't been that big of an issue for us. The Gabba and lesser extent Gold Coast starting to become a worry for us. Besides that, no other issues regarding travel, but the SCG and also a lesser extent the Showgrounds, Giant Stadium, it does present a worry for us. We are 25 wins, 27 losses overall when games are played in New South Wales. 10 wins, 19 losses at the SCG, 4 wins, 5 losses at Giant Stadium. 10 wins, 3 losses at Stadium Australia. That was that weird period in the mid 2000s where we would go up to Sydney during the term 2 holidays and just cause an upset. Split rounds as well as trying to get up. But 10 wins, 3 losses. That loss in the prelim final in 2012 where I thought our form at Stadium Australia would get us over the line, but not to be. And surprisingly, we've won a game in Canberra. That was against North Melbourne in 2001. So 25 wins, 27 losses, 10 wins at the SCG, 4 at the Showgrounds, Giant Stadium, that paddock, 10 wins at Stadium Australia, and that 1 win in Canberra. A fun fact as well regarding Sydney, the last time they've conceded 90 plus points 3 games in a row was in 2013. 2013, they played Hawthorn twice, and they also lost to Geelong at Cardinia Park. So it was Geelong, Cardinia Park, Hawthorn final round of the home and away season. Then they played Hawthorn again, week 1 qualifying final at the MCG. They got thumped. So basically, 2 top 4 teams they had to concede 90 plus points against, which is fair enough. No issues there. But the last 2 weeks, 114 against Melbourne, and last week, 97 against North Melbourne. So the history there, the trends, it's highly unlikely we're going to score above 90 against Sydney. And even then, we score above 90, Sydney's going to come out guns blazing and score 100 plus, 120 plus for that matter. The last time we played Sydney, we won by 5 goals, gathered around 16-13, 109 to Sydney 12-6, 78. That was Ned Long's legacy game, Darcy Cameron's 100th game, Nick Dacos beating the James Jordan tag. I'd expect James Jordan to tag Nick Dacos yet again and this time get on top. Yeah, we are absolutely battered regarding the midfield. We don't know what our midfield group looks like, what's going to gel, what's not going to gel. And yeah, with Nick Dacos getting tagged against Ocean Mullen, very little impact despite 29 disposals. It's going to likely be the case yet again. The 2 toughest taggers in the competition. So something to figure out. Jordan Agoe's played well the last 2 weeks. Can he back it up yet again? And who goes into the midfield with players out? Pendlebury being managed. Bo McCreary, I don't know if he's a forward. I don't know if he's a midfielder. I don't know what Bo McCreary's role is. I'd like to see him play a full game in the midfield, but Does his body hold up? I don't know. Jack Crisp has been okay in the midfield. I expect him to play more midfield minutes here. And if Ed Allen is playing this game, I expect him to play midfield. Otherwise, what are we doing with him? I don't expect him to be called up based on his performance against Geelong. Yeah, he had 30 plus disposals, but very little impact on the game. So if he is getting called up, please be in the midfield. I don't want to see Ed Allen playing across half back. I also don't want to see Steele Sidebottom playing across half back. But that's all for Craig McRae to figure out with moving the magnets and whatnot. I wasn't a fan of some of the magnets moved last week. And you expect to have a free swing against Sydney. You have a lot more magnets moved around. Maybe a debutant or two, but that's all I watch this space. But it's going to be very interesting how we somehow manage the onslaught that is Sydney. The keys to victory, it's a defensive mindset yet again, but it worked against Hawthorn. Maybe it works against Sydney, but the first key to victory is to somehow, some way, control the corridor at the SCG. Easier said than done. There's multiple ways for Sydney to kill us in this game. Quick transition around the ground. Nick Blakey can just run rings around us. Otherwise, they'll damage us in the centre clearances or the quick transition across half back. They're not poking it around, kicking it around in the back line anymore. But it worked so well last year against Sydney at Gather Round. We controlled the corridor. We got it over the top of them in the final quarter. So something to work on, something to figure out. You don't need talent to zone and lock down players and play one-on-one. So that's probably what they're going to drill into the players here against Sydney. Whether it's going to be a shootout or we have to somehow combat Sydney's style with our defensive game and make it a slow prodding contest. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle, how we go about it. And by halftime, are we in the game? Are we not? We'll figure that out. The second key to victory, similar to the first key to victory, don't allow quick transition. Our forward 50 pressure can match it with anyone. We can spook any opposition in the forward line or their back line. Against Sydney, they're the second best team for points against, but just their back line and how they're able to switch from defence to attack is pretty good so far. If you add Sydney's game to our second half against Geelong, it's got the recipes for a disaster. So for us, forward 50 pressure, trying to control the corridor, it can work, but against Sydney for 4 quarters, it's something I'm holding out hope for, but you never know. Third key to victory, no Sydney surge. What I mean by this is they're known for 10 to 15 minutes of 5 or 6 or 7 unanswered goals, taking the game away from oppositions, and that's all they need to beat teams at the moment. So for us, if we can combat that, nullify that, force this game to a fourth quarter late in the game, you never know. And the final key to victory is there something up Craig McRae's sleeve? Pies ball, swoop ball, Collingwood ball. It worked against Hawthorn, our tactics there, but is there something different to combat Sydney? It's just going to be an absolute massive task for us. But it's Craig McRae. He's capable of doing something magical. And I do think something magical, something extraordinary will happen in this game, whether it's an upset win or we are going to get demolished and a lot more questions are going to be asked on us, our playing group, our form, our future, our coaches for that matter. Yeah, it's a massive ask. We thought Brisbane at the Gabba without Nick Dacos was a big ask, but this one with Nick Dacos likely being tagged as well, Nick Dacos not being 100%, it's just going to be an even bigger ask as well. They might pull a surprise and drop someone random. Again, it's all to watch this space. When the teams are selected, it's announced Thursday night, 6:20 p.m. I'll record the team selections final word video, upload it Thursday night around 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish. And then the review of this game will be up Saturday morning. Again, VFL occurring Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. So I'll be at work, so I won't be able to watch it live or record any VFL reports. And then once I've done the round 10 review, win, loss or draw, we are officially in Scott Pendlebury week. And you've seen the discourse and media talk and online discussions or whatever. It's got me fatigued. So I'm holding off on Pendlebury talks until this game against Sydney's over. And then we'll talk and celebrate Scott Pendlebury and the legend that he is. But I'll leave you guys all to it. Leave your thoughts down below on this game against Sydney. Are you positive? Are you hopeful? Just, yeah, everything regarding this Sydney game. Hopefully we're up to the challenge, but I'll leave you guys all to it. I'm hoping you guys have had a good week so far. Please be well, please be safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the team selections final word video. Up the Pies.